What's up, everybody? Welcome to the People Choice Podcast, episode 24. I'm here bringing you something a little different because normally you guys are expecting, maybe an interview or heck, when are you going to bring back sessions or don't hate my take? It's been a while, or even a review thing. All that's coming, guys, I promise. But this idea actually came from a good friend of mine, so shout out to you, Stephanie, for giving me this advice, right there. With everything going on with the holidays is here, Memorial Day and stuff, and just the way people have been that I've known personally, the way they're feeling, and even the way I'm feeling, like certain times, we're not always happy, we're not always, okay. We all go through things, and I don't see a lot of podcasts really talk too much about like self-love or, mental health or, just real stuff that people go through. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to, instead of doing an interview, which I got some already in the archives ready to go, but I'm just going to push them for, future dates. So next Tuesday and stuff like that. But I feel like this will be perfect to talk to you guys about, stuff that really matters. So I took basically clips from every interview or every episode that I've had and took either their favorite quote or I took a favorite saying of theirs or something they said that was really impactful and put it on one. And I hope it really helps reach someone out there that's going through something, either out loud or in private. I hope it helps motivate somebody. I hope it touches somebody, Thank you guys all for, coming back to the channel. A lot of new faces, or I should say faces, but messages I've gotten. Thank you for the new subscribers, guys. Please continue to like, subscribe, share, comment on the YouTube channel. Let's continue to grow that as well. You can catch me also on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I'm all over the place, guys, and here to stay with all you guys' help. But thank you all for everything. Shout out to my partners at Bluer Futures. Shout out to my partners at We Speak Facts. Please check them out. So, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoy this episode. It's episode 24 of the People's Choice Podcast. And please comment. Let me know. Inbox me. Message me. I love talking to my peeps, making sure you guys are okay. I love ideas. I love feedback, positive or constructive, feedback. It's all good. So take care, enjoy the video, and see you guys next Tuesday.
Physical touch. So it's like, since quality time is my top one, I spend time like with myself. I spend time with my friends. I spend time doing what I like. And a part of that, you're going to have bad days, but you have to remind yourself, like, it's only a bad day. It's not a bad life. It's going to keep going. Like, you're going to keep going, I promise. But, some of our friends, like, unfortunately, like, they couldn't keep going. And that's what, like, made me want to live my life for them, because they should have, like, I wish that they could be here to experience, like, my victories. And I wish that they could be here so that I could celebrate their victories, but I have to live. I feel like sometimes they're watching me. So
what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote?
Mm-hmm.
What day is it?
The 26th. Saturday.
My favorite quote is, it's a Vince Lombardi. The mettle of a man is measured by his effort. It's not winning is not a sometimes thing. It's an all the time thing. You create winning habits. So winning is not a sometimes thing. It's an all the time thing. It's my favorite quote. And that doesn't always mean the scoreboard.
Yep. It says, I notice you're big on quotes from all your interviews, but what is your favorite quote? Oh man, that's a good one. There's so many great quotes, but one that always sticks in my head and tries to help mold me into the person I'm trying to become. And when it's all said and done, the quote, I don't know who originally started, but I first heard from Big Sean. It was from one of his freestyles where he said, I'm trying to take the greatest story never told and make it my own. So that's my favorite quote right there, because I've been through a lot in life. I've overcame a lot of things. And one day I think this is going to be a great story to tell, maybe like a documentary or a book. So that's what keeps me going, and that's what keeps me positive. That's what keeps me trying to be the best that I can be. I'm trying to take the greatest story never told and make it my own. So yeah, the bad times.
My favorite quote would to be you know what? My favorite quote would have to be this tattoo that I actually have on my arm. And it says, I don't want you to save me. I want you to stand by my side as I save myself. And it's very important to me because you don't want somebody to enable you. Okay? I don't anyway. You want somebody to say, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. If I don't know, teach me, mold me, help me, guide me. You know what I mean? If you love me, teach me, guide me. Don't let me go in the wrong direction. If I do go in the wrong direction, when I come back and I realize it, just be there for me.
But I think one of my dad's so funny. My dad has super funny quotes. But I'm not sure if this really applies to life, but my dad's famous quote he would always say is, if a frog had a glass ass, would it jump?
That's different.
Honestly, till this day, I have no idea what it means. Maybe some of your viewers know what that means.
Yeah, please, any of my peeps, please comment or message me.
If y'all some Black parents, please tell me what that means. No, but
can you say it one more time?
If a frog had a glass ass, would it jump?
I like that. And you just continue to just keep your head down, just keep plowing, keep going and keep going. I mean, it's amazing. So if you want to touch on that, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in like telling your story, like telling your testimony, because it's beautiful and it's yours and no one can take that from you. So I lost my father when I was 9 years old to leukemia. And I think that's what really kind of sparked everything and made me grow up at a very young age. And then on my 19th birthday, I lost my grandmother who raised me. So I wasn't raised by my biological parents. I was raised by my grandparents. So that really hit me hard. And then in 2017, I lost my biological mother. And that kind of just like was, I don't know, devastating to say the least. It was something that I never thought I would, see at such a young age. And it just made me open my eyes to how precious life is. But to, put that all into correlation, at 9 years old, when my father passed away, he was doing music, and his album was going to be called Rise and Shine. So I did music with him, and so pretty much how Rise and Shine started was it's me finishing his legacy. Like, because he was never able to finish that album, I made a vow to myself as a little kid that if I'm breathing and when I get older and if I'm able to, I'm going to help someone, because I know what it feels like to be helpless and not know what to do with someone that you love. So now here I am, years later, pushing to make an impact and to live by that phrase that means so much to me, which is like showing up every single day and giving it all you got. And whenever I lost my grandmother and my biological mom, it just meant so much more. Like it wasn't ever about me to begin with, but when I lost them, it became like my backbone. It was something I can always look at and be like, it makes me happy because I know when I say it and when I'm wearing it, it makes me think of them. So that's why Rise and Shine is not just like, a positive saying to me. It's my life. It's something that I live by and that I try to promote because it's my family and I want to make them proud every single day with everything that I'm doing. And I just hope that whenever it's my time that I can leave a lasting impact in this world to show everyone that no matter what happens to you, you can keep going.
I've been following Rob Level for a long time, since I was a teenager. He was still like a very independent underground rap artist. Now he's seeing more of the mainstream attention. And he said one time that feelings come and go, but the work must get done. And I live by that. When I have a personal problem or an emotional one, what keeps me rooted and grounded and sane and keeps my self-confidence balanced is if I still put in the work. So no matter what's happening in my life, I always got my schedule. I always do my vocal warm-ups. I always write new bars. I always work out. And those like 3-4 things come before anything else, before anybody else. So yeah, feelings come and go, but the work must get done.
My guess, what's a quote that really motivates them, that gets them going, or just a saying that like maybe your mom said to you or dad growing up or something? Like what's your favorite one?
My favorite quote. Hakuna Matata. Cause
Lion King.
Yes, you can't hold on to the past. You gotta just let some stuff go. And I think that helped me move forward with a lot of stuff. Cause I got that from the Lion King, but my mom, she said that a lot growing up because that was her favorite movie. So that is something that really stuck with me. Like, I believe that. Because if you holding on to past stuff, how you supposed to move forward?
Amen on that. What's your favorite quote or something that was like drilled in your brain that you constantly like use to this day or pass down to like your clients or whatever?
Never half-ass anything. Always give it your whole ass.
I like that. It's kind of funny too, but it's so serious. Like, never half-ass anything. Give it your whole ass.
I like to call out my clients sometimes. Just be like, hey, don't half-ass this, man. Like, at least give it your whole ass. That's something I've heard for a long time. I don't know where it came from. I really don't. Like, I just heard it when I was younger, and I was like, I like that. That's kind of funny.
Guy, motivational, spiritual. Okay. So like, what is your go-to quote when things just either aren't doing so good, or even if they are doing good, like something that really motivates you?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you, bro. I'm gonna show you. I ain't even gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I got it tatted on, right? Because it was times I really wanted to give up with shit, bro. But I had to look down, and the shit, it keep me going, like every day, no matter what, bro. Like the shit really keep me going. I got it right here. It say faith, and it's got the whole quote right there. Faith is believing that by, I forgot what the hell I even got on it, but it just keep me going, bro. It's my favorite quote. It was something I heard. It was something I heard my varsity head coach. He said, because he's actually a minister.
Okay.
It's something I heard him say, and when he said it, like it caught me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in a position right there. I was in a situation right then that, like, I was second guessing a lot of things. You feel me? So when he said it, I kind of like, I wrote it down. I wrote it in my phone. I went home and I just read it and looked over it. And then for like probably about a month, like a whole month straight, like it stuck with me every day. You know what I'm saying? I read it every day. Like, it helped me get through the day. It helped me get through like some of the days where I'm wanting to give up on a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Some days where I'm feeling like, yeah, you feel me?
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna try to read it out anyway. But it say faith is believing that by reaching out and grabbing nothing, it will soon manifest into something.
Amen.
So that's really what helped me kind of stay level-headed. You feel me?
That's what's up, man.
It really.
I can be a decent human being and be somebody that I can be proud of and God can be proud of. Somebody told me a long time ago, if you have your approval and God's approval, you really don't need anybody else's. And I kind of like that.
Amen.
I actually can't even name one situation. I've been through a lot of shit, So at the end of the day, it's just like about not letting stuff that's out of your control stress you out, and just keep your vision on what you want, on tunnel vision out. Like, don't stress the stuff you got no control over. And I had to learn that at an early age, you know. So I just always kept that in the back of my mind. That's what keeps me so strong, you know.
Amen.
I was like, this is inefficient and the layout's terrible for me to be doing this. So I switched to Wattpad exclusively. And then eventually I was like, I want to build my own platform. I'm building this thing called the Andre Archives. So then I went to get my own, I had my own website. And then the URL for that website was absolutely atrocious. So I got another URL. Like, I've bounced in so many different places. Mm-hmm. And each time I did, House Academy has undergone changes. House Academy underwent changes last week. I didn't change platforms again, but I went back and I started editing again, making sure that the parts that I already had out, I found grammar errors, spelling errors. Mm-hmm. And I've gone over these things like 6 times, and it's gonna happen. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it hold you back. It's gonna happen. And it's gonna happen again and again and again and again, like Mr. Krabs in that episode of SpongeBob, and the next day and the next day and the next day. It's gonna happen. You just have to keep at it. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I hope nobody saw that spelling error. Like, that was stupid. Like, that was dumb. I got the wrong 2 in the sentence. That's horrible. It's 2 and 2.
Just so many quotes, right? Like, in forever situation too. Like, I'll show you. Like, I have this book. So it's my journal. I have like quotes for everything. I have a vision board, like everything I want.
That is like, amazing. I gotta do one. That's pretty cool.
I highly recommend it, right? Because so there's a few quotes, right, in relation to that. Like, I listen to podcasts a lot too. So one of the podcasts that I listen to is Lewis House. The name of the show is School of Greatness, and he had on a guest named Andrew Huberman, who's a neuroscientist. And one thing that he said that really stuck to me was that you have to have a vision of the future that you can always go back to, right? Like, so if things get tough, then you always go back to that vision. It keeps you motivated because regardless of what's happening in the present, if you keep that vision of the future that you want to happen in your mind and in front of your mind, like, these things that are happening at the present moment are kind of like they almost seem trivial. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost trivial because the vision of the future should be more powerful from an emotional standpoint than what you're going through in the present, right? And then something related to that, I don't know if you know Jesse Itzler. He's one of the owners of the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his main business, he has a lot of businesses, and but he's pretty cool. He has a book where what's that book about? The book is about, like, he had an Army or a Navy SEAL stay with him for 30 days, and they did all this really tough stuff together. Anyway, you should look him up. He's a really cool guy. And he has a really cool attitude about life and everything. Really, he's very inspirational. But one thing that he said that always stuck with me, or is still sticking with me, is always, like, and it's very simple. Remember tomorrow, right? Like, if you're gonna do something today that you know it's not gonna be really good, like, you're gonna get drunk tonight, right? Like, before you do, remember tomorrow, right? It's gonna be fun right now. But, well, how are you going to feel about it tomorrow, right? If you're thinking about blowing off work, not coming in for work to do something else, remember tomorrow. Like, before you do it, remember tomorrow. And it's going to be fun right now, but how are you going to feel about it tomorrow? And all these things, right? Like, always remember tomorrow. And so then even if situation in the present is hard, and you couple that with your vision of the future, then it makes things bearable, right? Like you can live in the future because everything that you're going to do in the present is going to make that future happen.
You know, everybody that has a podcast ain't good at talking to people. And you already have, like, that's one of the hardest skills, and you have that, right?
Yeah.
So just keep tuning in, man. Keep coming back every week. Like, keep listening to the sessions and watching you develop, man. That's really all I got, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man. And you know what? And I know this ain't my interview, but I gotta ask because you're one person I always looked up to the days we've done football, to just the way you always carried yourself. What is one quote that like you lean on that just gets you through, or a saying, or like, I'm a positive person, like what motivates you, bro? What's your quote? I should say. Let me stop changing the question. What's your favorite quote, bro?
Well, my grandpa and it's always like a different rendition of the same idea. And like, I just feel like it's like a black person, like proverb, like always like keep moving forward. Even if you have to slow down, keep moving forward. And it's just that simple. Like it runs into so many thoughts, and like, it's such a basic principle, but that is, and it's just that idea. Just to keep moving, keep the wheels turning, no matter what. You can't stop. It's not gonna work. Just slow down, but you have to keep going, and that's what I lean on.
Not having a good day, and she sensed it. She was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Talked to her about everything that's going on that day. And of course, she knows that I'm an artist, right? She knows I draw, whatever. And I don't remember the full quote. I don't remember all that she said because it was a paragraph, and it was very sweet. But she told me that you are an inspired creator in a world of thoughtless destroyers. Thoughtless destroyers. And ever since, and listen to me, ever since, that was 2016. That quote has been in my Instagram bio since. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because that really, she finessed me, bro. The way she said that to me, man, just hit me, bro.
Say it one more time, man. I felt that. That was nice.
You are an inspired creator in a world of thoughtless destroyers. And I might put down a shirt now that I say it.
Players on the verge of quitting because of obstacles and difficulties they've dealt through, even though they're talented players. So what message do you have for them?
Don't give up. That's what everybody wants you to do. Be a failure, give up. Your goal should be prove people wrong. And when I took my break, people say, "Oh, you ain't gonna never be nothing," and all that. So, prove your doubters wrong. That's all. Really, I'm trying to send a message to everybody about. Really.
That's awesome. What was the hardest thing about college?
So many things just came to my head. Keeping my mental health good. I'm going to be very transparent about that because it's never talked about. And I think for me, it was just really hard because I was homesick and I was trying to deal with a lot of stuff going on, like with my extracurriculars and trying to keep my grades up. The rain really like affects you. I don't care how much you love the rain, like seeing it every day for 8 months is going to like do something to you mentally. And so I stayed on campus like from morning till night. So I never really saw the sun. And I was just so drained. And I would go home. It was just like go home and then go to sleep, do homework, go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing again, go to class. I really had to make sure that I was okay. Like sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't like eating just because I was so stressed about like life. I was like, this is not it. This is just a lot. I was going through breakups. I was going through like losing my friends. I had to cut off some friends like back home. That shit really sucked. Like it took a toll on me. And it's just like, I don't know how I did it, but I did it by going to therapy, and I had the support of my friends mostly. Like I live with my best friends. I have my best friends like they're a call away. And then with the help of my therapist, like she was a Black woman. That was the most, like, that was probably the best decision I had ever made, just because I took care of like my mental health. And like I was like, I was so refusing. I did not want to go to therapy. I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. But then when you start like thinking to a certain degree where it's like, okay, I can't think like this anymore, you have to do that. Like, you have to take care of yourself. And if you can't afford therapy, then learn your love languages and do that for yourself. Like, for example, my love languages are words or quality time, words of affirmation, and I think physical touch. So it's like, since quality time is my top one, I spend time like with myself.
I'm gonna do this, or I want to do that. I want to be a positive person, or I need to be a positive person. I need to. They'll say need to and want to and all these other words, and really those are just words of procrastinating. Trust me, I know. I am the king of procrastinating, which I'm not proud of, but that's a flaw that I've accepted, and I'm changing it slowly.
About it, acknowledging it.
Exactly. And you really just gotta do it. Just try. I say, just like Nike. Just do it, and, it may not be easy. You may not even, get basically the people in your life that you would hope that will recognize you're changing and you're becoming a better person. But at the same time, God puts people in your life for a reason, the right people,
at the right time.
Exactly. If they don't, and people see that you're changing and they're not happy for you that you're changing, then God will basically, he will separate them. And I hate to, because I know a lot of people, that's a touchy subject when it comes to, faith and belief in religion and stuff, but like, so just throw God in there. But, I'm a big believer in the Lord, and I love God. I love Jesus Christ, a man of faith. So I'll explain that. And anyone who's followed me, on social media, they know that of me. But basically, that's just, I know not everyone is, so that's why I had to explain that. But basically, that's about it, man. You just got to really try, recognize the people that are truly in your corner for you, your team. It's important to surround yourself with people. It's important to just try to be more positive. And no matter if it's compliments or go ahead.
And there's nothing wrong with change. Growing up, just hearing people, oh, you changed, da da da, and you get upset. Oh, I ain't changed. I'm the same. Da 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 da.
I've changed, guys. I promise.
There ain't nothing wrong with change. Change is elevating. And maturity. It's nothing wrong with change at all. Changing your mindset, changing your crowd. And it may upset other people, but at the same time, if it's making you better, and it's bringing a more positive look in your life, then they'll come around. If they don't come around, then they won't for you.
It's called bridging the gap, man. I heard this from Snoop Doggy Dogg. Should we still call him that? No, I'm just playing. Now, from he said it one time, and it's so true. And I think about this quote, and I think about some of my friends too, because he's like, it's called bridging the gap. He's like, you got, this gap right here. I know it's hard probably to see, but like, there's like a little gap, or it might be a big gap. This is you as a person. You're elevating yourself. You're reaching your goals. You're putting effort into those goals. You want to become a better person. Now you got some people down here that don't want you to change. They don't want to change. They don't like what you're doing. They don't want to see you become this person that you're set out to be. But if they love you and they truly care for you and they're meant to be in your life, then what they're going to do is bridge that gap. What they're going to do elevate themselves to be on the same level with you. It's not ever supposed to be you going down to them, because once you do that, now you missed a step and you missed a beat. You probably missed opportunities. You're probably doing things that's going to put you back in life than moving forward. So really, it's always up to them to bridge the gap. And they've never bridged the gap. It's okay to lose people. It sucks. It hurts. I've lost a lot of people that I thought that were like brothers to me, that were like sisters to me. I've lost friends, cousins, real family members. It's okay though, because at the end of the day, you are growing as a person, as a human being, and if they can't elevate themselves or don't want to elevate themselves, that's on them. You know, you could try, and Lord knows I've tried, and I've held on probably too long to some people, but if they're not willing to elevate themselves with you, then you gotta let them go.
Yeah,
you cannot be forced down, by it.
Oh man, it's going great, man. Just starting the podcast up. I'm getting so much positive feedback from people. Just it's been going great, man. To be honest, like my first episode with Coach Russell Stone. I don't know if you got to check that out. I mean, it's pretty long, but that had over 500 views, like all over like different platforms from Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. I mean,
that's how it starts, man. A lot of people I've come to find out, like when they release something, they want like a huge following base, like from the get go. And I'm like, dude, you got to establish the groundwork. Like, unless you are an established like personality, you're not gonna have like millions, thousands views off the get go. But 500 for your first, that is a perfect way to actually start. I mean, that's extremely impressive for your first podcast. So,
thank you, man. Thank you.
No problem, man. No problem.
So let's dive into to you, man, because you to me are one of the most interesting people, man. You got from being a photographer to you doing films and also mixed martial arts. I mean, let's dive in to get to know you for my audience, because I've been promoting this out, and a lot of them want to know more about you, because most of them have a hard time just doing one profession, and it's like you're doing three. Plus, I'm pretty sure you got some stuff that I don't even know about just yet. So let's dive into some of that, man.
Okay, so from the get-go, for your viewers, my name is Alfred Graham. I'm actually the third. My father is a junior, and my grandfather is the original. I'm 25. I graduated from Western, class of 2013. Now, like most people from Western, they want to go into the military, a good chunk of them, even if that ain't what they originally wanted. I wanted to go into the military. Unfortunately, it was about a month and some change before I actually graduated. So I had my contract, I had my ship out date, I was ready to go. But instead of being able to ship out a month and a half before we graduated, I ended up having a seizure out of nowhere. Now, I've had a total of 3 seizures in my life. Once when I was like an infant, once when I was like 4 years old, and then of course the one of being able to ship out a month and a half before we graduated, I ended up having a seizure out of nowhere. Now, I've had a total of 3 seizures in my life. Once when I was like an infant, once when I was like 4 years old, and then of course the one my senior year of high school, which disqualified me. Now, they told me 5 years down the road I could sit there and retry and become enlisted that way again if I ain't had no outbursts or anything like that. But at 18 years old, the only thing you wanted to do was serve in the military, and then it basically being taken away from you. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I pissed and moaned around my mom's house for probably 3 solid months. I worked a factory job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But in the process of all of this, I was consuming large amounts of movies, large amounts of films. I mean, I was watching your B-list films. I was watching like your Oscar films. I was watching stuff off YouTube, and not so much to where I'm at now. Literally today, all I do is just nonstop consume film. If it's something I've seen, I'll watch it again. If it's something I haven't seen. But back then, I was just watching it, and I didn't realize it was a coping mechanism for me. Because when I was upset, because I was reminded of, I couldn't serve, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I sat there and would just watch a movie, and I realized it was like a drug for me. My personality, my emotions would change rapidly. And it was shortly near the end of 2013, I fully decided, you know what, movies is where it's at. I want to make a movie. I knew nothing about what the filmmaking process at all. Didn't have a camera, didn't have no audio gear. didn't have. I mean, like all I knew is.
So life has been good. Life has been rough. I had a couple of falls where I shouldn't be here, but God wasn't ready for me to leave. So I'm still fighting, man. I'm steady fighting. And
born fighter.
Yes, sir. And you know, now in my life, Elvin, I focus on motivational speaking. You know, especially dealing with the younger youth. And I deal with the schools, with the wrestling teams and stuff like that. Guys in the gym, you know, trying to keep them off the streets because I know how the streets were. I came up on the streets, you know, and it was a lot of headaches. It was a lot of trouble. It was in and out of jail, which was nothing good. So eventually in life, I got to the point where I had my first son, and that changed my whole life. Right then, I knew the banging and all that crazy stuff was even necessary. So if I continued that, it was going to be two results. I was going to either go to jail or I was going to get killed. And then my son wouldn't have a father. And that's something I always strived on because the simple fact is that when I was young, I didn't have that father figure. I was searching. So I found my inspiration / father figure out in the streets. You know, I had an OG that was real good. He taught me a lot. The streets taught me a lot. Like I said, I made some wrong decisions, some bad decisions, but I haven't done anything in life that I regret because you know, one thing you can't do, you can't change the past. So I don't concern myself with changing the past. It's the present and the future is what I'm concerned about. You know, I have 3 girls and 3 boys, all of them grown. I think I've been a very good father figure to them. All my kids, I'm proud of. You know, I always have 1 or 2 that sways off, but they come back on the right track. You know, so life itself is a blessing, man. It's a blessing. I walk around and like when I come in the gym, I'm told a lot that, you know, that I motivate a lot of guys doing stuff. And the thing about that, you never know who you motivate in life. You never know who's watching you. You know. So when I come in the gym, I don't care how much pain I'm in, I try to smile with it. You know, if somebody want to talk, want to stop me and talk, I get it to them. You know, because some people watching you in a way that you could never believe it. Okay, and some people watch you so closely they can dictate what you're getting ready to do, and that's when it's crazy. But you know, as long as it's not in a vicious way that they're watching you and trying to follow you, it's okay.
I'm gonna give you the advice I give to myself, because I tell myself, because I want to give up a lot, so I still want to give up till this day. So, but it's like you got to know what's at the end of the tunnel before you even walk through it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So what I do, if I don't feel like going to the studio, what I do, make myself go. If I feel like writing a song, I make myself go. When I'm in the booth, if something don't sound right, nah, redo it. I don't care if I done redid it 12 times. You redo it to how you want it. So just keep it pushing and shoot. If I don't care if I don't blow as big as J. Cole, I'm gonna do it till the day I die. So if that's your craft, that's something you like, don't ever give up on something you like, because then you won't regret it. So that's all the advice I got to give is like, just keep on with it. No matter how hard it get, it's gonna work. Sometimes you gotta work for stuff in life. If it ain't that hard, just get it.
Amen, man. Like quotes or sayings that really get you through either the good times or the bad times.
Let me see. I don't really got no favorite quotes. I know I could tell you one quote I remember offhand. It's a good quote.
Okay.
I think it's Frederick Douglass. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So with that being said, I spend a lot of my time and my energy working with children. You know what I'm saying? Because they're a lot more open-minded. They receive information a lot better. You know what I'm saying? They're more excited to learn.
That's
we get older. Once we gone. You know, we kind of stuck in
Set in our
our
ways.
ways.
I like that. That's a good quote right there. Or that you lean on during the good times or bad times.
Oh man, the first one that came to mind when you asked that is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's the one right there for me. I'm like a firm believer in hard work, and like, you know, I feel like people tell me a lot of times like, oh, like you're so gifted, like you do this, you do that, but I feel like, you know, I appreciate the gestures of that, but you know, nobody sees the work that goes in behind closed doors. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of like time spent like watching films of other people, watching films of myself, watching like all these types of films and stuff like that, like these analytical videos, and then like going out. Like I think I was just this past semester, during the fall, I was up in New York training. And I was doing, it was like, it'd be like freezing cold out. Like, you know, I'm sitting here trying to get it in. The summer before that, it would be like 90 degrees, blazing hot outside. And I'm still out there trying to get it in, you know, like heat of the day. And yeah, I think it's just relentless work is what, you know, people see. But on the outside looking in, it just looks like, oh, that's just like.
I always love to do on the People's Choice podcast is always ask people what's their favorite quote or saying that really motivates them and gets them through either the tough times or the good times. So like, what's your favorite motivational quote or just quote in general?
My favorite quote would always be, fear is in the word itself. If you fear the word fear, what you're going to do, you're not going to give your best shot. We live life one time. Why not do the best thing? Why not take something that you love and make it everything and surround it by your life? So I always feel like fear is, in this word itself, meaning like you just fear. That brings me on anything, because if I'm not scared to do it, what can stop me?
Yeah, amen. So what's a quote that you really love during either the good times or bad times?
No amount of money can ever buy a second of time.
Like that.
Yes.
Say that one more time for me.
No amount of money could ever buy a second of time. Basically, use your time, enjoy your time, because you know, you can never buy it, no matter how rich you are.
Amen. Amen on that.
One call, tell me you see me later. I ain't really worried about no motherfucking hater. I'm just really stacking cheese, I'm just stacking paper. Kicked up in the field, catch a television. God said it ain't your time, yeah, it's on way. We up, on fleek. Gotta stay on my hustle, gotta keep elevating. Got the racks stacked up, yeah, I'm hella cake. Tell me what you saying, yeah.